Hello, folks. I'm going to be playing another game of mine. Let's see which one. Land of the Kittens. No. Invasion from Venus. No. Future of Man. All right, did the museum. The Car States of America is kind of weird depending on what you do. Uh, becomes very political. Fantasy Farmville. Let's do that one. So I'm going to be male elf named Moss Ears. I don't know. Who is a member? Hunters Guild. Hunters Guild, plural. Are paid. Village. From wolves, bears, and so on. To the guild hall right now. To check sightings of dangerous animals. Yeah. I've introduced my character, so on and so forth. I'm going to stop that wiggling.
You head to the guild house, a sturdy stone building on the edge of the village. Inside, you find the guild master, a grizzled human named Boren. He greets you with a nod. Monsieurs, good to see you. We've had a few reports of unusual activity in the western forest. A farmer claims he saw a large, shadowy figure moving among the trees, and a few hunters have reported finding tracks that don't belong to any known animal. He hands you a crudely drawn map. This area is marked. Be careful, Monsieurs. Something feels off. What will you do next?
They're already throwing me into something supernatural? Better not be supernatural, I'll be pissed off. 5 silver pieces. Cheapos.
You carefully sharpen your hunting knife on a whetstone you keep in your pack, ensuring a keen edge. You test the bowstring, finding it taut and dry, ready for action. You then head west, following the path indicated on the map. The forest grows denser as you go, the sunlight struggling to penetrate the canopy. The air is still and quiet, an unsettling silence that contrasts with the usual sounds of the forest. After about an hour of walking, you reach the area marked on the map. It's a small clearing surrounded by thick undergrowth. You notice the tracks Boren mentioned. Large, vaguely canine, but with an unnatural, almost reptilian quality. What will you do next?
Well, I guess I'll prepare the bow.
You knock an arrow, drawing the string back slightly, ready to loose at a moment's notice. You carefully follow the tracks, moving silently and deliberately, sticking to the shadows cast by the trees. The tracks lead deeper into the forest, becoming more frequent and distinct. You notice something else. A faint musky odor hangs in the air, unlike anything you've smelled before. The tracks lead to a narrow ravine, overgrown with thorny bushes. As you peer into the ravine, you see a pair of glowing red eyes staring back at you from the darkness. What will you do next?
Is that a dragon? Even though the prompt says there's no dragons in this? Okay. In the eye, I guess.
You draw back your bowstring, focusing on the glowing red eye. With a smooth release, the arrow flies true, striking the eye with a sickening thud. A monstrous roar echoes through the ravine, shaking the ground beneath your feet. The creature, whatever it is, recoils in pain and rage. It crashes through the undergrowth, revealing a hulking form. A massive wolf-like creature with scales instead of fur and razor-sharp claws. It lunges towards you, its jaws snapping. What will you do next?
And then, and I cannot miss. Oh.
You quickly nock another arrow and release, striking the other eye with deadly accuracy. The creature lets out another deafening roar, thrashing wildly as it loses both its sight. It stumbles blindly, its massive form crashing through the undergrowth. You quickly sidestep, narrowly avoiding a swipe of its claws. The creature continues to thrash, disoriented and enraged, but unable to see you. It circles blindly, occasionally snapping its jaws at empty air. What will you do next?
Once again, the narrator better not argue with me, because basically the setting quite makes it quite clear this is a cozy village, and things like dragons and armies shouldn't show up, and certainly not giant wolf-like creatures with scales. I consider that a dragon-sized threat, and if it doesn't like it, it's tough. It brought in a dragon-sized threat, and I get to kill it. I'm an elf. Super elf.
You nock another arrow, keeping your bow trained on the creature. It continues its blind circling, occasionally bumping into trees and rocks. You wait patiently, analyzing its movements, searching for an opening. After a few tense moments, the creature stumbles towards you, its head swinging wildly. As it passes close, you see its throat exposed, a vulnerable target. You release the arrow, aiming for the throat. The arrow finds its mark, piercing the creature's neck. It lets out a final, gurgling roar before collapsing to the ground lifeless. What will you do next? You carefully retrieve the usable arrows that landed nearby, adding them to your quiver. Then, using your hunting knife, you begin the arduous task of sawing off the creature's head. The scales are tough and resistant, making the process slow and tiring. After a considerable effort, you finally manage to sever the head from the body. It's surprisingly heavy. You secure the head to your pack, making sure it's well balanced. It's a gruesome trophy, but it will undoubtedly impress Boren. You start back towards the village, the head of the scaled wolf slung over your shoulder. As you walk, you notice something glinting in the ravine where you fought the creature. What will you do next?
Examine the ravine. But armed with my bow and arrow. That crack you just heard was my shoulder as I stood up. I'm getting old. I don't want to go in the ravine. I don't care about a special shiny thing. It's probably a cursed ring or something.
You cautiously approach the ravine, keeping your bow drawn and an arrow nocked. You peer into the depths, scanning the area for any signs of danger. The glinting object seems to be coming from a small alcove hidden behind a curtain of vines. You carefully pull back the vines, revealing a small, stone chest, intricately carved with images of swirling leaves and vines. It appears to be quite old. What will you do next?
Better be easily to carry silver coins because I'm not carrying the whole box. Don't care how valuable it is.
You carefully use the toe of your boot to nudge the chest open, keeping your bow and arrow ready. The chest creaks open, revealing its contents. Inside, nestled on a bed of faded velvet, lies a single object. A silver amulet shaped like a crescent moon, inlaid with a single, shimmering blue gemstone. The amulet radiates a faint, cool energy. As you reach for it, you hear a faint whisper in your mind, a voice that seems to come from the amulet itself. It says, "Beware the shadows that lengthen." What will you do next?
I hate that. All right. Then take narrator better not attack me at this point because I've killed the monster, I got the treasure, the house quest work. This is a side quest, obviously. If it tries to do anything else, then I will argue with the narrator. This is a new character. You don't start throwing things at a new character this early. This was already probably way above its level.
You carefully place the silver amulet into your pack, feeling a slight chill as it touches your skin. You then heft the scaled wolf head, its weight a reminder of the battle you just fought. You continue your trek back to the village, the amulet's whisper echoing faintly in your mind. As you walk, you notice the forest seems darker than before, the shadows deeper and more oppressive. The air grows colder, and a sense of unease settles over you. You reach the edge of the forest and see the village in the distance, bathed in the late afternoon sun. However, something is different. The village appears deserted. The usually bustling marketplace is empty, the homes silent. No smoke rises from the chimneys. What will you do next?
No, look. Yeah, that's it. That's it. No evil shadows. Nothing changes the village. Everybody's okay. Look, this is the first level character. You don't do that. You don't do the whole darkness and people disappearing. No. Killed monster, I get the treasure, I go home. That's it. I got the treasure, I go home. See, the problem with the narrator is that there really isn't very much. There has to be a certain balance. This is the first venture. You can't have the whole village being wiped out because of this one thing that happened. So, yeah, no. The adventure's over. I won. Over. I get paid. I sell the treasure. Here I am, and everybody's happy. You gotta balance this stuff out. That's one of the problems with the narrator. It just wants to cause conflict, and it's like, okay, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this. Like, no. Once this is over, we go to bed and have a nap. I guess the narrator agrees with me. What is it doing? The other game I'm playing, a halfling who's now going off to find a cult who's sacrificing people. I mean, he's a bookkeeper, a book salesman. I mean, I'm like, I really should probably talk to that narrator and say, look, what the hell's going on? This was at least an elf who...
You are correct. You are a level 1 character, and this is a cozy village setting. My apologies for the deviation. Rewind a bit. You continue your trek back to the village, the amulets whisper fading in your mind. You have the scaled wolf head, its weight a reminder of the battle you just fought. You reach the edge of the forest and see the village in the distance, bathed in the late afternoon sun. Everything seems normal. The marketplace is bustling. The homes are filled with light, and the air is filled with the sounds of laughter and conversation. You enter the village, feeling a sense of accomplishment. Boren, the guildmaster, is waiting for you at the guild house, a wide grin on his face. Messieurs, excellent work. We heard the commotion in the forest. A fine beast you brought down. He eyes the scaled wolf head with admiration. This will fetch a good price at the market.
Now, my cut?
Boren's eyes widen as you present the silver amulet. He takes it carefully, examining it with a practiced eye. By the ancestors, this is a relic of the old elven kings, a powerful artifact indeed. It is worth far more than the wolf head. He pauses, considering. For the wolf head, I can offer you 5 silver pieces, and for the amulet I'll give you 20 silver pieces. A fair price, considering its rarity and power. He pushes the coins across the table. A good day's work, messieurs. A good day's work. What will you do next?
Take my coin and go leave. A coin. Payment. If I say coin, he'll think I just took a coin. That is going to be the end of this one. Or he tried to turn it into a X-Files mystery, and I'm like, no, you don't do that to a first person, first try. Come on. You probably can get the narrator to understand that, but you'd have to program it a little better than what I can do right now. Because you can literally tell things like, do not endanger the player, do not cause conflicts. This is a cozy game. So you can make it so that they actually understand that, like, if you're making a farm sim or a cottage core like kind of thing, or a dating sim or whatever you want to do, you can make it so, you know, there's not wolves attacking your farm, there's not dragons showing up, and the women don't turn out to be ninjas. That would be kind of funny, but still. Give me my payment, I bow, and I'm going to end it right there. And you saw how I basically said, no, this is like a first adventure. No, you don't do that to somebody. See, a dungeon master, a human dungeon master would know that the first few episodes, you're getting to feel your character out, this, that, and the other.
You collect your payment of 25 silver pieces, carefully counting them before placing them in your pouch. You then retrieve your bow, which Boren had been cleaning and oiling for you. Take care, messieurs. bore, and says, clapping you on the shoulder, the forest is always watching. Be vigilant. You leave the guild house, feeling satisfied with your earnings and the knowledge that you've helped protect the village. As you step out into the marketplace, you notice a dwarf merchant, Grimbold Stonebeard, examining a display of wares. He catches your eye and gives you a friendly nod. What will you do next?
Nothing. I take my payment and bow. Oh, it thought I took my bow instead of it thought I didn't realize I was bowing. Okay, whatever. We're gonna quit this now. I'm going to also delete the save. I have actually two saves already in the setting, and they're much better than this. The narrator is much better at deciding the pace. So I don't know what to tell you, folks. It really depends on how much adventure you want. I mean, if you like the museum, that was probably better. Um, I like modern day. That might be more interesting. If you like fantasy or this, I mean, if you want to play you want to figure out what the heck that curse was about, you could do that too, or you could just say no. This is the first level. Let's keep it at that. So yeah, you could just like you might talk to your dungeon master. Go, no, we're like this is our first game. You got us fighting dragons or what the hell, whatever that was. So no, but have a good day. Thank you very much. I'm gonna go edit this and see if I can put it on the YouTube before the end of the day.